main session, I would like to introduce Brianna Ninomoto to discuss rising coastlines, the future impact of sea level rise. Mahalo for that introduction. Aloha mai kako. As mentioned, my name is Brianna Ninomoto, and I'll be sharing my presentation today entitled Rising Coastlines, the Future Impact of Sea Level. In overview, I will be presenting my research design for my thesis project to understanding the future sea level by studying the king tide events. So what is sea level rise? Sea level rise is the increase of the world's ocean levels due to the effects of global warming. There are multiple factors that contribute to the exposure of sea level, and these factors can be divided into three hazards: coastal erosion, annual high tide wave flooding, and the one that I'll be focusing on for my thesis project is passive bathtub flooding, also known as stillwater high tide. So globally, over the last 100 years, the mean sea level has risen 15 to 20 centimeters. But some Pacific Island nations have actually experienced a rate 2 to 3 times greater than this average, resulting in a 0.3 or 30 centimeter rise since the 1990s. Hawaii is no paradise for escaping sea level rise. Since the 1950s, Hilo Bay has actually experienced a rise of 25 centimeters and has been rising at a rate 2.5 centimeters every 4 years. This is why for my project, I will be focusing on Hilo Bay, or Hilo and Hawaii Island, and studying the passive floodings that occur during high tide events. So what are high tide events? High tide events are also known as king tides or the Phrygian spring tides. They're natural phenomena that occur for a 3-month period twice a year. They normally occur during the winter and the summer seasons due to the solstices, when the sun, moon, and earth are all in line. So as mentioned, the rapid rise of sea level has been affecting many coastal areas and increasing the vulnerability of coastal communities, resulting in people needing to migrate and establish strategies to protect themselves. Annual high tide floods, although they have a smaller water displacement than severe weather floods, these annual floods are expected to increase in frequency, extent, and duration per year, providing a scenario of what the future sea level may be. For my project, my study sites will be various local i'a, or brackish water fish ponds located within the ohana of Pilohanakahi, and the Ahupua'a of Waikea, and in the Moku of Hilo. One of my study sites is also located within the Ilipupono, or Independent Land Division in an Ahupua'a called Honohonolulu. Local i'a are very special waikai areas, and these brackish water ponds allow for sustainable fish farming. Sea level rise threatens these places by disturbing the rock walls or the kuapaw, and also increase the salinity of the brackish waters located in the community. So for my methods, I plan on inputting water sensors during the high tide floodings for the 3-month period, maybe June to August. Then I'll also be flying drones and collecting imagery during specifically noted high and low tide events. For the drone imagery, we'll also be laying out targets to collect GCPs, or ground control points, to later georeference the photos. The targets also help to serve as a scale bar since they are a meter long. To incorporate indigenous knowledge into my research, I plan to kilo the days and the moon phases of our specific survey days. I included this because it is during new and full moons that the gravitational pull causes a noticeable change in tides. In addition, traditional natural resource management has also used moon phases to tell people when to work, harvest, or to fish. By also practicing this kilo, it helped me to keep open-mindedness and awareness of the special places that I will be working. By measuring the high and low tides, a model could be built visualizing which areas will be affected by the flood events and the future sea levels. With the drone imagery, 3D orthomosaic models will be built, and then by overlaying the water sensor data, these models can show estimations of the coastal vulnerability coastal vulnerabilities to the passive floodings, which then can be shared with the local practitioners and community members who also may be impacted. These models can also help in future coastal resilient management plans. So in conclusion, my goal with my research is to establish a better understanding of sea level rise throughout the Gila coastline. In addition to also practicing place-based research into the local and the effect of sea level rise will have. The goal is to create this understanding, to know what to expect, and then to help act resilient against the future sea level. And then, so mahalo for listening, and I would like to say a special thank you to my advisors, my thesis partner, and the local, various local kiat that I'll do. Thank you.
Does anyone have questions for Bree?
Have you started collecting data, or this is for the summer? This summer. So my project plan is mostly for this summer, but we actually were able to get some like preliminary practice rounds last summer, so we could develop our methodology for this summer so that I can run more smoothly. Yeah, to figure out how to do all my data analysis.
And aren't usually king tides during the winter? And so if that's the case, how are you relating to those king tides?
So although my data specifically is just like most of my work can be done in the summer, I think I'll also carry it on into the winter. But like I know that I can do most of my work during the summer since I won't classes. But during the winter, I also plan on doing some water science data collection, but it's also harder because the tides happen like early in the morning, so you're not able to collect the drone imagery, but then hopefully I can get the water sensor data to then understand that.
Can you speak a little bit more about what kind of kilo observations you're going to do and what kind of specific questions, like what you're going to be looking for? And,
I think that question. So like prior to going out in the field, I'm already doing some research on the moon phases, and then I'm going to be doing more research on some like what was said about those moon phases, like are they for planting days, and like doing that kind of like personal research. And then on the day that we're going to do our surveys, my plan is to practice opening protocol and like welcome ourselves to the space, and then take like a few minutes to just jot down what how I'm feeling personally on that day, what I'm seeing, what the weather is like, and then like taking notes of that throughout the day and throughout the survey is something I'm hoping to improve because.
So do you think you'll be trying to make some kind of like data correlations between the moon phases and your surveys, or are you just thinking about including that information for broader context, or do you think that may help explain something related to your?
Yeah, I'm hoping that I can. I've been also researching into Mo'olelo and Mo'olelo about the moon phases and see if there's any particular phases that are known to cause a more noticeable tide. Right now, I'm just doing a whole bunch of research, but I really hope to be able to tie in a lot of it. And like based off of it right now, a lot of our survey dates align with full moon tides. So yeah, I'm curious. I haven't looked in the winter season yet, so I don't know if it's maybe newer moons correlate more with the significant